The repair is the customer wants the dust cover here in the back replaced. A lot of these are chewed up, but this one looks like somebody's been in there monkeying with it more than just the factory.
Hi, and welcome to Over the Gunsmith's Shoulder. I'm Gene Kelly, president of the American Gunsmithing Institute, and in this segment, Master Gunsmith Ken Brooks is going to walk you step by step through a gunsmithing repair. You're going to learn a lot. And if you'd like to learn to be a certified professional gunsmith, then go to AmericanGunsmithingInstitute.com and request an information package. Now let's learn from Ken.
Okay, we're back over the shoulder. You guys gonna watch me fix something again? So in the past, we've done some pretty in-depth mechanical things. Enjoyable for me, hopefully enjoyable for you guys. But a lot of times you get the simple, easy, quick ones. And I think that's what this one's gonna be. I hope. Every time I say, hey, this should be a quick one, it turns into a nightmare. Hopefully this one will not. So we've got an SKS. Excuse the tape, it's covering up serial numbers. It is indeed empty. Good. So once it's empty, the repair is the customer wants the dust cover here in the back replaced. He does not want this scope mounted version on here. He supplied one, but he's nervous because it goes on, but the takedown pin won't go through the retainer hole. So first thing we're going to do is pull out the takedown pin and remove the old one. And I'm going to go ahead and just strip it, and we're full of all kinds of cosmoline crud, looks like. Yeah. And I'm just going to strip these out of here because they're in the way. There's no sense in having them there. Now, according to the customer, he said the pin will fit through the hole. He slid it in this way. I'm going to double check it. And come on now. It does fit through. So we know it'll fit through the new dust cover. And he says when you slide it on this way, it won't. And he's correct. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit. See if we can get a close-up. So can you see how the dust cover doesn't line up with the hole? The hole through the dust cover, excuse me, doesn't line up with the hole in the receiver. So essentially what we're going to have to do is move the dust cover forward. And if you look at the takedown pin, a lot of these are chewed up, but this one looks like somebody's been in there monkeying with it more than just the factory. And it was not me. All right, so what prevents this from moving further forward? So we line it up here. There's nothing here that prevents it. So then we just start looking at the real obvious stuff, right here. Well, there's a gap between the receiver. Now it does round down, the receiver does. See how it's kind of contoured here in the bottom on this side. And it doesn't quite touch our dust cover here. So I'm going to rotate it over and pick it up so you guys get a better view. Same thing, the receiver's contoured here. The dust cover, not so much, got a bit of a gap. But if you look right there, I'm going to pull that dust cover back, it comes forward, and that flat right there comes into contact with the flat on the underside. Without knocking tools down, let me turn it over. And this side you can really see. And right here you can see the dust cover definitely comes into contact. Actually, there's even grease and oil that oozes out or is pinched and pushed out when I shove the dust cover all the way forward. So we're definitely tight there. So essentially what I'm going to have to do is go in and alter either the receiver or the dust cover. Well, one of the rules is that you always want to work on the cheapest part. The serial number receiver is going to be a lot more expensive to replace than a dust cover. I mean, the customer said he's got a shoebox full of these. He tried them all. None of them fit. This is the one he wants to put on there. So we're going to make this fit that. So I'm going to jump over to the vise and get set up, and Robert will follow me over there. All right, so in this view, you can see that I have the dust cover clamped in my vise. It's padded. Now I don't have it clamped in there super tight because I don't want to crush it. And we needed to remove material from the flat here and the flat here. And you can see the wear and tear off of the gun this came off of. You can see that the bluing is wore off in a couple of those spots. So I'm going to hit those with a file real quick. And then it's going to be kind of trial and error. I want this to fit on the gun and then the takedown pin go through the hole with slight resistance. I don't want it to be sloppy. If it's got a lot of play in it, the recoil spring, again, does push it back against it, but anytime you've got play, when things are slamming around, this has mass, it can start slamming around, pounds itself, and eventually, granted, it would take a long time. I get that. These are very tough guns. They're neat guns. But if I can make this snug, when that takedown pin goes through, then we don't have to worry about it. So, trial and error. I'm going to just, you can see that I didn't have it tight enough that when I started to file on it. Now, I'm going to try and hit this one first and then work over to this one. Okay, and then I always like to just polish them a little bit. Using the file as backing. Takes off any of the burrs, makes that nice and shiny. Undo that. Take an old ratty toothbrush. Probably talked about my toothbrushes before. I don't throw my toothbrushes away anymore. They come to work and they become this. You can see when my little girl was little, I still have little girl toothbrushes, pink and whatever. My Little Pony or whatever it happens to be. All right, we're going to try this in the gun. All right, so back at the bench, we're going to try it. After being at the vise, slide it up into place. See if that guy, and it still doesn't want to move. Pushing it all the way forward. Making sure that I'm twisting it to make sure that takedown, the alignment pin will line up, and it's not going. So what we're going to do is take a mallet and just give that a couple little wraps. Okay, by striking the back of this with a mallet, forces it forward. You can see we got a barf mark here, a little bit of one here. So we'll go back to the vise, polish those, take a little bit of material off, bring it back, let it sit in there, go on to the next one. Okay, so we filed a little bit off of our two little tongues there, whatever you want to call them, and got those barf marks removed. So we will try it again. Get this up here, push it in. Nope. No, still not wanting to go. So I'm going to hit it a bit more. So we might have a slight barf mark there, but since I have it apart this time, I want to look around, and it looks like we might be hitting right there and maybe right there. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and round these two sections here and maybe even adjust this a little bit more, and then we'll come back and try it again. So right here is the one rounded section. Over here's the other one. And then, of course, these flats on the back. So I have it clamped a little different, but that's so I can get in with my file and just round those a little bit. And again, I don't want to get too carried away. I don't want big gaps. And I want this dust cover to be, I don't want it to be loose on there. I want it to be snug. I don't want to have to drive the takedown pin in, but I want to, you got to be able to take it apart. Up. All right. Now I'm going to come over here and do a little bit of filing on these spots. Actually, I want to go back to that other file. Sorry if my head gets in your way. I got to be able to see, and the light is in a position where I need to be able to break those sharp edges. Brush that off and go back to the bench, see where we're at. All right, so you can see we've polished this a bit more, rounded our edges, line it up, slide it into place, give it a little thumb push with my thumb right there. Look at that. And it's snug. We're not rattling on there. And remember, there's no spring tension. There's nothing in there. So that's snug. And then to take it down, you can see it requires a little bit of force. There we go. So now, I'm going to put the breech bolt and the bolt carrier back in. Push the follower down so that goes all the way forward. The recoil spring in. Before we get carried away, the customer knows what I'm going to do, but nonetheless, I'm going to cover up some of those polish marks. A little bit of cold blue. There we go. Wipe that off. And I believe that you're supposed to use a little bit of water, but I am just going to touch this up. Put a couple drops of oil on there. Just to make it look nice. The smell of ballistol. Gotta love it. Slide that guy back in. And our takedown lever, like so. And I'm gonna pop our magazine down so we can cycle this back and forth. All right. I told you guys we spoiled you with the complicated fun ones. This one's quick, dirty, easy. But you can see how when I tap that with a mallet, a non-marring tool, I can see where things are rubbing. And then you can remove material there. There's no sense in removing material where it's not touching. So by hitting it, Bob used to always call that barf marks, which made perfect sense to me. It barfs things up and you can see exactly where it's rubbing. And just took them off. All right, well, that one was a quick and easy one. We will catch you guys next time.
If you want to learn real gunsmithing and see more videos like this, be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out. If you're interested in training to be a real gunsmith, go check out the AmericanGunsmithinginstitute.com. Or for your own firearms training, AmericanGunsmith.com.